The crypto market took a tumble on Thursday, but if you've been following this channel, you probably saw it coming. Analysts have been sounding the alarm for days, so hopefully you weren't caught off guard. And here's the kicker. Many experts believe we're not out of the woods yet. Short term, prices could dip even further, but don't panic. Zoom out. Big picture, nothing has changed. On the longer time frame, the outlook for Bitcoin remains thrilling. We're still on track for one final parabolic run this cycle before it reaches its peak. Profits are on the horizon, and the ripple effect will be massive, spilling into countless altcoins, XRP included, when it finally breaks into price discovery, smashing a new all-time high for the first time in over 7 years. It's going to leave everyone in awe. Face-melting moments ahead, but let's keep our cool for now. The ride isn't over, and we might still hit some bumps before the real fireworks begin. Just a quick reminder, I'm not a financial expert, and this isn't financial advice. Don't make buying or selling decisions based on what I say. Always do your own research. It's Thursday afternoon, and chart analyst Credible Crypto just dropped an interesting take. If this market pullback has you panicking, take a deep breath and maybe grab a Snickers. Oh, and since it's worth mentioning, as I record this on June 6th, 2025, Credible Crypto is one of several analysts I've been following closely. He's flagged something worth noting. While it's not his strongest conviction, he says it's possible Bitcoin could dip into the mid 90, somewhere between $95,000, 0 cents, and $98,000, 0 cents. He's not alone in this either. Analysts like the blockchain backer have echoed similar warnings. Here's the key takeaway. None of these experts are saying it's guaranteed or even highly likely, but in volatile markets, moves like this can happen. Consider it a heads up, not a prediction, and maybe keep those snacks nearby. If something like that were to happen, XRP wouldn't be far behind. It always seems to follow suit. Analysts also warned that even if prices don't sink quite that low, Bitcoin could still dip into the lower $100,000, 0 cents range, which would inevitably pull XRP down with it. And guess what? That's exactly what unfolded on Thursday. So as prices dropped yesterday, I hope you weren't blindsided. If you've been following my channel, you shouldn't have been. I consistently share insights from top-tier chart analysts. And if you've been paying attention, you knew this was on the radar. The good news, nothing is broken from a structural perspective. On the higher time frame, the trajectory is still intact. We're still on course. It's all about patience. The big moves are coming. You just need to hang in there a little longer. XRP, as I'm speaking, is sitting at $2.13, though it dipped to $2.07 on Thursday afternoon. Bitcoin, same boat, is currently at $103,582, 0 cents after dropping to $100,613, 0 cents earlier. These are 24-hour charts, and if you compare XRP and Bitcoin side by side, it's practically the same chart. So let me be crystal clear. There's nothing wrong with XRP. What we're seeing is market-wide, just how the game goes. Volatility isn't the enemy here. It's part of the process. To me, there's nothing to fear. It's just the usual market waves. Ride them out, because the best is yet to come. History has a way of repeating itself, or at least rhyming, and chart analyst Mustache highlights this perfectly. Here's what he's pointing out. This chart shows the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, known as Total 3. While he mentions Total 2 in his notes, Total 3 leaves out both BTC and ETH, unlike Total 2, which only excludes Bitcoin. But let's dive into what he says. Mustache writes, if only people realize Total 2 is repeating the same cycle as before, we're currently in the blue zone. The next phase, parabolic price action for altcoins. Dips are for buying. Looking at the chart, we're in that blue zone he mentions, 2025 territory. A few years back, that same blue zone was shorter, more compressed. This time, things are unfolding a bit slower, but it's following the same pattern. What happened next just shot right up out of nowhere, and here's the kicker. He's saying we're in that exact same moment again. This is where it gets interesting. It's a perfect example of why I always say even the best chart analysts, no matter how skilled they are at spotting patterns, can't consistently predict timing. Chart formations can speed up or slow down unpredictably. He's arguing this is the same setup we saw in the last cycle, same pattern, just stretched out a bit more this time. But here's the exciting part. It's still gearing up for a massive move to the upside. The best is yet to come. The most thrilling part is just ahead, and it'll be quick, maybe 30 to 60 days, give or take. That's how these things usually go. It could peak just like that so fast. People won't even realize it's over until it's already behind them. People might think, oh, it's just another dip. But trust me, the music always stops eventually. And when it does, there are clear signs. Stay tuned to my channel because as we get closer, I'll be ringing the alarm loud and clear. The top analysts I follow will all start seeing the same thing at roughly the same time, warning signs that things are about to take a turn. When that moment comes, I'll be shouting it from the rooftops here. Some people won't want to hear it. What? Are you kidding? Prices are going to keep climbing. That's the classic short-sighted retail mindset. But here's the truth. The ride doesn't last forever. Let me give you a heads up as the warnings from chart analysts start rolling in. You don't want to ignore the signs. Take this post from Charting Guy as an example. On June 3rd, he was already prepared. He said, XRP hitting resistance, rejection here, like we're starting to see now. I think we go to $2.05. Final bear trap, laugh emoji. At that point, XRP was sitting at $2.25. Fast forward, and guess what? It dropped significantly, just as predicted. He called it 3 days in advance. Pretty spot on, right? It's a reminder to stay alert and watch those resistance levels closely. Sure, Live Coin Watch shows $2.07 for XRP, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it hit $2.05 on certain exchanges. After all, Live Coin Watch calculates averages based on the data they pull from various sources. But here's the thing, this isn't about being overly cautious. In fact, there are still bold predictions floating around that XRP could climb into double digits this market cycle. And no one's panicking here. Analysts across the board remain steady. Even if XRP dips or Bitcoin takes a small hit, it's clear no one's losing confidence in the bigger picture. Out of all the accounts I follow, literally none of them called this. Then he dropped this post. It's from Thursday afternoon, right after XRP began dipping alongside the rest of the market. He said, XRP rejected where expected, likely heading down to the $1.95, $2.05 range, the buy zone, in my opinion, by the end of this week or early next. Translation, he's cautioning that while it's not guaranteed, there's a strong chance we'll see XRP dip below $2. And if that happens, you can bet Bitcoin won't be soaring past $100,000 either. It might hover in the upper $90,000 range, but hey, let's not panic. If it happens, keep your cool. This kind of action is just another day in the world of crypto. Classic volatility. By Thursday evening, he shared another update. XRP target met. Now let it breathe and move sideways for a few days. The $1.95 to $2.05 range should hold, in my view. Wix down to $1.85 might happen, but I'd say it's unlikely. Just my 2 cents. But he's not the only one weighing in on this. Here's an interesting take from an analyst called 100XGK. I'll admit, I'm not familiar with them personally, but this was shared by Charting Guy on his X account. And let's just say Charting Guy has an eye for spotting top tier chart analysts. So while 100XGK is new to me, that doesn't take away from the insights here. Check out this XRP chart. According to 100XGK, XRP has been the standout coin since election night last year. While most altcoins and majors have retraced their gains, XRP is still holding strong, up over 250%. But let me pause for a moment to point something out. I crunched the numbers earlier when XRP was sitting at $2.10. From $0.49, which was its price just before the election, up to $2.10, that's closer to a 330% increase. So I'm not sure where the 250% figure came from. Sure, he said 250% plus, which technically includes anything above that, but it's still quite a leap from 330%. Just thought I'd flag that. That said, he's right. XRP has been massively outperforming. Then he mentioned something interesting. The fact that XRP held strong during peak Terra FUD gave him enough confidence to aim higher. He pointed out a blue box as the zone to watch, saying any bullish break in this area on a lower time frame could be a solid entry point. Of course, this depends on how Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are looking. And here's the blue box he's talking about. It's right here. It's called around $1, 90 cents to $2, right in line with what Charting Guy has been saying. Another analyst is chiming in with a warning that prices could dip. But here's the twist. No one's panicking. Analysts seem to agree this is part of the game. To really hammer this home, check out this insight from chart analyst Crypto Insight. UK. XRP is creeping into the top of the liquidity range with a wave of long positions getting liquidated. See the bottom of the screen for proof. Quick pause here. This is Thursday afternoon, 3:25 p.m. Central, just as the market started to take a hit. Crypto Insight UK points out that open interest is climbing as we hit liquidity zones. Translation, people are piling into shorts. But here's the kicker. When the market flips up, expect an aggressive squeeze as shorts scramble. First things first, let's talk about the $2 liquidity level I've been highlighting for weeks. Even as the market took a dip yesterday, one thing remains clear. Many experts, including this particular analyst, still believe we're heading toward that $2 zone. Another voice chiming in saying, hey, don't be surprised when it happens. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. This isn't crystal ball territory. But when multiple analysts are pointing to the same level, there's often something to it. So consider this your heads up. Now check this out. Chart analyst Greg Crypto posted a bullish breakout prediction for XPS, citing several key levels. The standout, $2.65, a number that's been echoed by numerous other analysts. But what if the market takes a nosedive instead? That's where things get interesting. A user named William posed the question, could we see a retest down to $1.90 or even $1.75? Greg Crypto didn't rule it out, saying the possibility is still very much on the table. He gets it. There's always a chance things could dip before they climb. But for him, that's no deal breaker. Time and time again, it's the same narrative. And that's why I'm hammering this point home in this video. Then I came across this headline from Crypto Basic. Analyst says the longer XRP consolidates, the stronger the break. You know what? That couldn't be more true. The saying goes, the wider the base, the higher in space. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the momentum. Spot on. Absolutely. So there's this analyst I'm not really familiar with. Goes by Alt Crypto Gems. Pretty popular around here, though, with 477,000 followers on X. What really got me, though, was something he posted that made me chuckle. Not at him, but you'll see why. Here's the post. Will XRP ever get out of this never-ending range? I couldn't help but laugh because clearly he's talking about this year. This range, just over $2. As someone who's been holding XRP since late 2017, never sold a single one. I've seen it all. Massive consolidation, the SEC drama, all the ups and downs. Honestly, XRP has survived the longest consolidation in crypto history. Seriously, watching XRP finally break out of that endless consolidation was a journey in patience, but sticking it out paid off big time. My net worth is far higher now than it would have been if I hadn't held on. It's funny seeing some people getting antsy now. Not saying it's everyone, but some folks are frustrated because XRP has been hovering above $2 for most of 2025. It's adorable, honestly. Oh, the poor you stuck with your $2 XRP for 6 months. Come on, really? Patience is key in this game. You've got to laugh sometimes. Just ride it out and let the gains speak for themselves. Speculators will speculate, right? It's what they do. But sometimes impatience gets the better of them and they start sounding like whiny toddlers. Case in point, someone mentions, been trading here for 190 days now, feels like forever. Here's the thing. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. And that's the truth. Take a step back and look at XRP after hitting its all-time high of $3.40 this year. It's now consolidating and showing impressive strength. That's a really good sign. This is exactly what you want to see after such a major leap from $0.49 to $3.40. A period of sideways movement, maybe a slight dip. Historically, this kind of behavior often precedes the second explosive leg up in a cycle and followed the same pattern in the last 2 cycles. It took about 6 months from one move to the next. So if history is about to repeat or at least rhyme, we're getting close. Patience is key, but the signs are intriguing. Chart analyst Zoom shared an XRP/USD chart pointing out that if XRP mirrors its 2017 run, we could be just 4 weeks away from the final push upward. No guarantees, of course, but the parallels are hard to ignore. In 2017, XRP consolidated for 210 days before its explosive run. This time around, it's already been 190 days. The countdown might just be on. 2 to 4 weeks? Maybe. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to wrap up at 210 days. It could take longer, absolutely. But here's the exciting part. We're in that thrilling zone where any day now you could wake up and see it take off. That's not just wishful thinking. It's a real possibility every single day. No one can predict the exact moment it'll happen. but this is roughly the window where it all makes sense. Personally, I believe it's coming. I don't think, not even for a second, that XRP is done. The best is yet to come, and I'm here for it. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I say. That would not be smart. Always do your own research.